I just have the best memory of the early days because it was a very small community of people that didn't have much.
There wouldn't be an industry if we hadn't have come together and shared everything from, experiences, but also supplies and equipment. My childhood was filled of meeting colorful characters with big ideas.
Individuals who had a passion for creating a product that they could be proud of. It was more of a lifestyle, learning the skills of growing grapes and making wine along the way.
The work in the vineyard is the base of what will happen next. I mean, without those people working in the vineyards, nothing would happen.
The Oregon wine industry, I have to say, more than any other industry, wine industry that I've experienced, is really good about telling that story. We're bringing people out to the deck of our tasting room, show them our vineyard, and we talk about all the work, how many times a cluster of grapes is touched by hand, and who does that work, and how important that is, and how none of what's in the bottle happens without the vineyard stewards.
They get up at 4:30 in the morning and do 10 to 11-hour days during the peak. In the exhaustive heat, they do not falter, they carry our backs. The quality comes from that work that they do.
In my early days as a physician, I worked in emergency departments. We often would say 5% of the patients really had emergencies. And I would often see vineyard workers and other laborers who couldn't afford to take time off to establish with a primary care physician, so they would use the emergency department.
Our healthcare system is very complicated. So when we started this program, there was really not a lot of options for access to basic healthcare. And that was our mission, was to diminish that, to be able to guide an individual how to access primary care. Hospitals sometimes are difficult to access. So when you bring services to the people, into the community, you are building relationships, you are breaking barriers, you are facilitating the access to care for that patient.
Many of the workers perhaps speak limited English, and the fact that Salud provides people that are bilingual, who the workers can really confide in and trust, is very, very important.
I have a memory of being at the winery one time when the Salud bus drove up. I was so impressed with the people that came, and this was very early in the days of Salud. Our vineyard workers got blood pressure checks, they took their blood samples for diabetes, they recommended things for diet, they also recommended exercises before going out and working in the vineyard. I was blown away.
In the very first auction that was held in 1992, there were 18 wineries involved. I don't really think we knew what we were doing. The first auction was held at Outwater's Restaurant in Portland.
I think the first one was most fraught with, is this going to really happen? We've invited all these fancy people here, are we going to be able to really pull it off?
Oh, Salud is so fun because it takes place right after harvest when everyone's hands are still dirty.
Everybody's a little tired, everybody still has the purple hands, everybody has all the anecdotes that happen, some good ones, some bad ones.
And then taste the wines, because that is our first glimpse of the vintage. So yeah, that's the best part of Salud for me, honestly. I love that part.
Salud for the next 30 years. Oh man, I don't know how you can make it any better. I mean, it's really, really fun. It could be more fun than tasting each year's production. We go through painstakingly, barrel by barrel, and choose the best lots for this auction because it means a lot to us. It's unique because you're pairing something that's unique from the Willamette Valley with benefiting folks that make that wine possible.
Since 1991, Salud has raised more than $18 million. That first auction, however, raised $119,000, which was a lot of money back then.
After it was over, we sat around and drank a whole lot of champagne that was left over and just couldn't believe it had happened.
It was hard to envision that night, the first night that we ever had an auction, to see what the next 30 years would hold for this project and how important to the community it would become.
To me, Salud is just such a shining example of what people can do for one another when they put a mind to it.
That a group that was starting with not much realized and decided that they should provide help.
It's also that sense of continuing the camaraderie and collaboration of the industry. You know, we've gone from probably, 100 or fewer wineries when Salud started to over 900 today. And it's very easy for that feeling of collaboration to start to, and community to start to fragment. And Salud is one of the core elements to keeping that together for this industry.
To me, that is what makes this region really shine, and which will continue, I hope, to keep this region as amazing as it is and withholding the kind of reputation that it has for being one of the best wine regions in the world. And a lot of that is based on the success of Salud.
Salud Services work is not done. There's much more for us to do. As the industry has grown, the support has always been there, present. And it is my hope that it will continue to be for the next 30 years.